Hi, here's a question from Lucas Kleingelt. Chiron, what is the deal with this healing space rock? Seems to be very active at the moment, personally. Well, yes, Chiron is an asteroid. It's known as the Wounded Healer in astrology. And you can look up the mythology if you're interested, connected with the Wounded Healer, Chiron. Chiron was a centaur, half man, half horse, and for some reason he started off in mythology as being immortal, and then he was in a bit of a punch up with the Cyclops and got speared in the thigh. And although he was very good at healing everybody else's ills, he could not get this wound to heal. And he went to Zeus and asked to be made mortal, and Zeus granted his wish, and then once he was made into a mortal he could die, and his constellation is in the sky. So in the astrology chart, the position of Chiron is a karmic point. It's sort of like a work in progress. It's the way I see it anyway. It's like a work in progress. It's something that's ongoing. It's our Achilles heel. So there's more Greek mythology coming in there, but it's the place in the chart where we hurt the most because of outside circumstances and what comes at us in life at certain times. And these certain times seem to be when Chiron is activated by transits, or indeed when the age point is going over Chiron, or progressions are happening which are stimulating Chiron. And at those times we go through a lesson. We're learning something which is probably making us kind of wince and say ouch. I mean, Saturn does that, but Chiron is kind of deeper because it feels like it's an old, it's something that hasn't healed. So there we got the analogy with the wound that never heals, and indeed it is said that with the a chironic influence in the chart, which is strong in the natal chart, if it's a wound that doesn't heal, we become very, very good at trying to seeking survival mechanisms or healing mechanisms, or we striving to find answers. We're seeking to get an answer to this knotty problem that's a real doozy in our life that keeps coming up every now and again, over the years. And it is also believed that because of that, the person who's got Chiron in a particular part of the chart gets very good at understanding what they need for an ongoing healing process which never absolutely completes itself. And this might not be physical, it could be psychological, it could be emotional, it could even be spiritual, like a spiritual wounding. Even though that never completely resolves itself, that person gets very practiced, very wise as the years go on about that particular challenge, and therefore that's where the healer bit comes in, because that person is very good at helping, assisting, facilitating, or indeed healing another who has a problem, not necessarily because of Chiron, but a problem similar, related in those particular areas of life. So it, for some reason, even though it's a tiny little asteroid, like in fact Pluto is a tiny little planet that some people are trying to call an asteroid, it packs quite a punch. It really does. So For instance, somebody born with Chiron in the 5th house, which is the house of children, I mean, I could just use this as a quick off the top of my head example, might have trouble getting pregnant, might have trouble, might get lots of miscarriages. Or there may be something to do with a lack of spontaneity with the inner child, or difficulty in childhood, particularly with the father figure, because the 5th house is ruled by the sun, and the sun is an archetypal manifestation of the father energy. So that kind of thing. Okay, so I hope that kind of gives you an idea of about Chiron, the healing space rock. Thank you for your question, Lucas.